as a part of the IGS 2026. 3MP is an international developed by University of Queensland. The challenge is simple and yet incredibly demanding. Active doctoral researchers must effectively explain their researchers, their background and impact to a non-specialist audience in just 3 minutes. Last year, we held this competition for very first time at ITU, and it was a remarkable success. Today, we are proud to bring it back for a second time, featuring an even stronger and more diverse group of competitors. A little bit acknowledgement for the audience. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to ITU Rectorate for their continuing support of this initiative. We also extend our deepest thanks to our jury members who have generously dedicated their time and expressed their evaluating expertise and evaluating today's presentation. Our jury will assess each presentation based on the main criteria established by the official 3MP guidelines: comprehension, content, and engagement and communication. And of course, thank you, our audience. Today we are not just spectators, you are also voters. Your participation will determine the People's Choice Award. So please listen carefully, and every presentation, your vote matters. To give your vote, we will share a QR code. Please prepare your form at the end of presentations, and your vote will be directed by Google Forms. Before we begin, it is my honor to invite the director of the Graduate School of Istanbul Technical University, Professor Dr. Fatma Seniha, to deliver her opening remarks and officially open today's competition.
Good morning, everyone. Today is the final day of International Graduate Research Symposium organized by ITU Graduate School. We are growing this symposium with 3-minute thesis competition. Today we will have the opportunity to listen to 31 graduate students, PhD students, from 22 different fields. Dear students, I think you are very excited and eager to begin the competition. But before starting the competition, I would like to thank the jury members for their valuable time and contributions. I would also like my special thanks to graduate school person, especially to Reşat Hocam and his team, because they have put great effort into organizing this symposium and this competition. In a few minutes, dear students, in a few minutes you will present your PhD thesis in 3 minutes in simple way that everyone can understand. I think, as I told you before, you are very excited and eager to learn beginning your presentation. Yes, I wish you all best of luck and may best presentation win. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Before we begin, I would like to remind our rules. Timing Each presenter has exactly 3 minutes. So timer start when you start the presentation, and if you exceed the timing, you will be disqualified. For about the format, presenter must be spoken word only, no poems, raps, or song, etc. Only a single static PowerPoint slide is permitted from very beginning. No animation, translation, or additional electronic media such as sound or video files. No additional props, costumes, or laboratory equipment are permitted. The decision of the judging panel is final, cannot change. To keep this event peace and smooth, please hold your applause until the presenter has left the stage. Regarding the People Choice Award, voting will open after all presentations have concluded, and only people present in this room is allowed to be voted. So people is not here, if they know they are not here, it is not allowed to have vote. So I would invite our first competitor to the stage, Zehra Yılmaz. I guess she is not here. I get that kind of information. So we are passing to the next one. Burak Kılıç is not also here. Oğuz Emre Bal is not here as well. So Ceyhun Erman. Would you like to?
Okay, I'm here, but I'm expecting this will be in Turkish, so that's why. Sorry for my English. So, yeah, as you know, this is an earthquake in the country. We all experience really devastating earthquakes every year. So it's important to work on the earthquakes. So Anatolia is affected by a really large and devastating earthquakes from many years. And but none of us know all these earthquakes and crustal deformation comes from the deep of the earth. So that's why we have decided to work on the mantle deformation, 100, 200, 300 kilometers deep mantle deformation, because all this surface deformation and faults and earthquakes generated by the effects after the mantle flow, because Earth's like a puzzle, consists of many of lithospheric plates. These plates, the relative movement to each other generates deformation zones, faults, and earthquakes. That's why we are trying to take a tomographic picture of the upper mantle depth to understand the relationship between the Earth surface processes and the deep mantle processes. We are using the earthquakes as well, and earthquakes generates the elastic waves, and these elastic waves propagates all around the world inside Earth and takes information inside from the Earth. And we use the seismographs recorded at the surface station, and we use all this information and take a tomographic picture of the upper mantle structures like an MRI and Röntgen. So after all these things, it's really important to get a relationship between the crustal deformation and upper mantle deformation, because we have a really complex deformation in the surface, and we have many other tectonic settings like Anatolia around the world. It's very important to understand all these other complex deformations. Thank you.
Presentation. I would like to invite our next presenter, Muhammed Rashid Karakoca from Mechanical Engineering. conditional gain.
For an aircraft taker,
For an aircraft to take off safely, its structural components must have sufficient strength. However, aerospace engineering is governed by fundamental a trade-off. As strength increases, weight also increases. And as weight increases, efficiency increases. Therefore, the key challenge today is not only to make component durable, but also lightweight, manufacturable, and high-performing. The core problem is closing the gap between design and real world. Two approaches stand out in addressing this problem. The first is topology optimization. In this method, the load acting in the component are defined, the algorithm analyzes the stress distribution under this condition to remove unnecessary material and generate the most efficient load-bearing structure. The second approach is lattice-based metamaterials. Due to their geometry, this structure behaves differently from conventional materials. For example, while most materials expand under loads, this spatial geometry exhibits a negative Poisson ratio and contract. This property provides enhanced energy absorption capacity against external loads and impact. However, these two approaches are typically supplied. This structure, one defines external skeleton at the macro scale, while other defines internal architecture at the micro scale. In my research, these two domains are integrated artificial intelligence-driven machine learning. The model leverages large data libraries to design new and original lattice structure based on performance targets. The model leverages large data libraries to design new and original lattice structures. These structures are integrated with macro-scale skeleton obtained through topology optimization to form hybrid structure. However, these structures effectively, moreover, this structure can be physically manufactured, additive manufacturing. The goal is to develop lighter, more efficient, and higher performance. These structures are then integrated with the work is the sorry. Thank you very much for the presentation. Wait a couple of seconds for the jury decision, and I will invite our next presenter. Okay, let's continue. Next presenter, Recep Özkan from Structural Engineering. An AI-powered risk prediction and proactive management model in construction projects.
Yes, as we speak right now, a construction worker is guided to Okay. As we speak right now, a construction worker is guided to the 40th floor of a building. Statistics tell us a painful truth. Some of these workers Unfortunately, we not make it home for tonight dinner. Construction is the baddest industry in the world. But why? We have thousands of excellent reports, but they are sleeping on the dusty shelves. My thesis asks a simple question. What if these reports could talk to us before their accident? I'm using artificial intelligence to turn these reports into a time machine. Firstly, I'm using natural language processing. And it means it can read thousands of excellent reports in minutes and create a huge database. But it's not enough. On the other hand, to prevent the accident, we have to understand the connections. This one, I also used another AI model, graph attention networks. Now, think of a construction site as a living web of connections. This model uncovered the hidden connections between the condition on construction site we miss. And it can see if it's windy, if the worker is tired and there is a crane near me, the risk is very high. And turn the worker and it say, stop man, don't do this. Your family is waiting for you at home. My research is not just about code or data. It's about building a shield for every father, mother, and son on a construction site. By the time I finished my PhD, construction sites no longer be place of bedlam. The construction sites will be managed by data, safety, and science. And end of the day, we make sure every goodbye in the morning is a hi everyone, I am here in the evening. Thank you.
Now, I would like to invite our next presenter, Suleyman from Department of Industrial Engineering. She will present mathematical models for infectious diseases.
In the last decade, the number of HIV infections in Turkey has increased fivefold. But the most interesting part is that 1 out of 2 people who live with this disease is unaware of their situation. They don't know that they are infected. Because the real problem is people don't get tested. Even though the testing center is right next door, people don't want it. Because the hardest part is not about the disease, it's about the fear of judgment. People ask, what if someone sees me? In our thesis, we wanted to create a strategic roadmap to reach those people and reduce the number of HIV infections. To do that, we created an epidemic model. This model is simulating how HIV disease in our population is transmitted from one group to another. And we turn human behavior into mathematical equations. We compared a lot of strategies. One of them is called voluntary counseling and testing centers. These centers are different. They are free and anonymous. You don't give your name while testing. Based on our results, these centers are 74 times more effective compared to other testing facilities. And the most important thing here is, even though we increase the number of VCT centers, the place of these centers is so important. Because if they are in the wrong place, the fear of being judged is still wins, and people won't go there. That's why we found in which places in Istanbul these centers should be opened. We included one more thing. It is the cost of being judged. So, in our thesis, it says two things. First, VCT centers is more important compared to other facilities, and it's the most effective strategy based on our metric. And second, it's important to select the district in Istanbul because we want to make a big difference. Remember, it's not about the disease. It's about removing the barrier of asking this question. What if someone sees me? Thank you.
Now we will begin Jewish decision. So, I would like to invite our next presenter, Yavuz Demirel from Meteorological and Meteorological Engineering. He will present and its lens with PV.
So, what if we want cheaper cars, but also want them to be high quality? Or we would like to eat something very tasty, but also not spoil. Don't want it to spoil at the same time. And what about the plastics that can withstand higher temperatures and they can be lighter, but also not choke us in the future with all these plastic wastes? And what if I told you that we can actually remedy this with just a simple PET bottle that we are currently using? So, my research tries to solve this question about high temperature resistant lightweight foams by using water-grade and mechanically recycled PET. So, to be able to even work with this PET, first of all, we need to add some chemical agents that will make it melt processing even possible. Additionally, we add a cousin polymer, that's PET, that's used industrially more commonly. And when we mix both of these chemical agents and the PET, it turns the difficult to process and difficult to form recycled PET into something that we can both work with and form it, and tries to tackle the problem we have with having lightweight plastics that can replace parts in automobile or aerospace engineering that has to withstand a bit more temperature that we are commonly expecting from PET, while also providing a bit more mechanical properties in that way. So I would like to remind you that for big leaps in technology to happen, we first need a big leap in technology in material sciences. And in this work I have done, in this research I am doing, maybe we are not making a big leap in materials technology, but if we can take this step, this could cascade into a wide variety of other polymers that can possibly be used in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Allow me to remind you, you are only liable or allowed to use just words. You should not use phones, prompts, videos, or etc. Okay? Now we will wait for the jury's decision. I would like to remind you the rules again. Each presenter has exactly 3 minutes. I guess all of you are aware of this one. But the important part is presenters must be spoken word only. You should not use get or you should not get help from other materials like visual helpers or prompts or videos or fonts or etc. So the decision of the judge is final after this type of event. Are you ready? Please. Okay. So I would like to invite our next presenter, Mehmet Oruç, from Earthquake Engineering Department. He will be presenting us about smart urban railway variable optimum mitigation of seismic risk and environmental impacts of the substandard building stock.
As you know, we have many buildings that are not safe in earthquake. That's the good way forward. And most of these buildings are also energy efficient. So, if we are going to act on earthquakes, why not also think about energy? Without any mitigation, without any intervention, future earthquakes will cause significant loss of life, economic and environmental loss. But it's not just about earthquakes, because these buildings use a lot of energy during operational phase, like heating and cooling. So, what can we do? First idea, retrofit buildings for earthquakes and energy efficiency. Or go further and demolish and rebuild each one separately. These are make sense. But we wanted to go one step more. We propose looking at the whole block together instead of building by building. Because at block scale,
you have more options. You keep the same floor area, but you can change the building's number, height, orientation, and spacing. So there is a much more potential, especially on energy efficiency. We compared these strategies in multiple ways, and we found that block scale rebuilding reduce energy use and but it's not the best strategy in everywhere. So it depends on the location of, it depends on the earthquake hazard and climate of the region. So our study proposed new mitigation, new strategies for earthquakes and energy efficiency, and compare them with multiple perspectives. That's it. Thank you.
We wait to choose. Now, I would like to invite our next presenter, Duygu Kalkanlı, from the Department of Urban and Regional Planning, which she will be present as special behavioral dynamics in variant urban configuration during emergencies and integrated via ABM approach to disaster resilience. Stage is yours.
Close their eyes and imagine that you are in a circle peninsula of Istanbul and you're at the corner at the intersection of the street. And imagine that you experienced a massive earthquake and darkness everywhere because it's in the evening and there are lots of panic and screams. So you don't know whether when is the next earthquake will come, and probably the buildings around you have already been damaged, and in the next earthquake it should be collapsed onto you. And you have to find a safe place as soon as possible. So you're in the intersection of the street and you have two options. And you don't know yet, but one is the shortest path. I think the shortest path to the safe evacuation area. So which one would you choose? There are no signs, no directions, and can you find it or can you choose it trusting your instincts, or your instincts can lead you to the shortest path? So we built our cities, design our cities and study urban resilience with concrete, steel and planning standards, but when we come into the position in a very stressful condition, human mind doesn't work as human mind doesn't work perfectly under stress conditions. So under high stress conditions, we act unlogically. So, and we call it as cognitive tunneling. We under high pressure, like I am like here right now, our cognitive capacity is narrowed. Our perception is getting down, and so we tend to we tend to follow the safest path and we tend to follow the crowd. So I just try to measure this and create a virtual laboratory and gather the special characteristics and then transfer it into the simulation problem and create a digital twin of Alat neighborhood.
Now, I would like to invite our next presenter, Kaan from the Department of the Shipbuilding and Ocean Engineering, and he will be presenting seamless subsea communication system designed by integration optical and acoustic technologies for enhanced underwater communication. Stage is yours.
Imagine sending a voice message under the water. Hello, I'm Kaan Alper. I'm at my last year on my PhD journey in Shipbuilding and Ocean Engineering Faculty. Today, I will talk about my PhD topic, and hopefully I will take you to the deepest oceans and miracle environment of the ocean. As we all know so far, 71% of the Earth is covered with water, and human never stops exploring the oceans with the ambition of diving deeper. This environment is very miraculous, so we need to search and we need to communicate. This is a basic need. So for a research on a communication method is a must. So because communication is a basic human need. So on the land we have Wi-Fi's and Bluetooth and other radio frequencies, radio waves. It's seamless, it's effortless to communicate. But under the water is a challenging task to perform. So the most common way to communicate under the water is acoustic communication. But there are some marine creatures that use ultrasonic waves to communicate, to attract prey and for navigation. So as these animals are affected from acoustic waves, the human-made acoustic waves, it drives me to find a more marine-friendly way to communicate under the water. Thanks God that nature has its own solution. Sunlight cannot reach the bottom of the ocean, so there are some creatures that living in that deep below are well adapted to life in the dark. So they use their own light, they use bioluminescence phenomena to create light under the water for attracting prey, for communication. So my thesis research starts with that side. So I focus three things. Our system will be hybrid. I need to sense the ocean, and I need to decide which way to communicate under the water. And also our system needs to be independent. So every transmitter and receivers use industrial communication methodology, and it's also independent. If you want to have much more communication and much more receiver, you can add more receivers. So I also designed a transmission meter to understand light attenuation and one time-of-flight sensor to see how the sonic waves attract under the water. So what if we listen ocean? So we have lots of things to say about it. Thank you very much.
Ünal. I would like to invite our next presenter, Suleyman and Ünal from the Construction Sciences Department, and she will be presenting reinforcement of masonry walls using textile derived by natural resources.
Hello everyone, and I will also start with the elephant in the room that we are with possible disasters every day. And I believe many of you in this room, like myself, will have the anxiety of an earthquake every day. And of course, obviously, the important thing to take from disasters is lives. We need to survive first, but I'm gonna have to tell you another kind of survival today, which is survival of the stories, because disasters don't just destroy buildings, they also destroy stories. Stories of monuments, stories of historical buildings, and traces of time. So in my PhD, I am trying to strengthen masonry walls. And I have two important additional questions to these strengthening, which are, can nature strengthen masonry? When I strengthen masonry, can I help environment also? So I have two phases in my thesis, which are the first phase of my thesis is, can natural fiber resist environmental effects with the help of bio-based coatings? And the second phase is, if the system that I proposed is structurally well behaved now. So I'm trying to propose a sustainable way to strengthen masonry with flex fibers that you see in this picture, and I'm trying to strengthen first fibers, then masonry walls, to propose a sustainable new method to the world, and also try to preserve our history. And thank you, that will be all.
Thank you for your presentation, Sudan. We will wait the jury's decision. I would like to invite Zeynep Özen from the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering. She will be presenting recycling of 6 3-axis aluminum alloys by substitution of critical raw materials with validation of structural parts and battery components of next generation electrical vehicles.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tutku. I'm a PhD student working about sustainable aluminum alloys to sustain greener future with electric vehicles. Imagine an electric vehicle and imagine their components once was a scrap, a used damaged part, an old window frame, all industrial waste. Now they can be recycled, but most of the people think recycling can lower the quality of vehicles or aluminum alloys itself. My study focuses on different aspects of this issue. Can recycled aluminum be used without compromising their strength and sustaining a greener future. In order to carry out this study for further developments, I investigated first the literature. The primary aluminum usage requires 95% more energy, electrical energy, but using recycling by scraps doesn't need that electrical energy at all. So I focused on 6,000 aluminum alloys in my study and developed a microstructure called tiny particles, precipitates, yielding strengthening of the aluminum alloys. These precipitates distributed all over the microstructure and creates barriers to dislocations to move, which causes the failure of the material. When we control the recycling, we can increase the strength of the material itself. So, in this study, I also focused on advanced microstructure and crystallographic optimization of these alloys. The results were very encouraging, as I say. In the end, we have observed that recycled aluminum alloys, wastes, and used beverage cans also can be used in our cars, sustaining a greener future and a greener environment. This is not only a waste issue, this is a climate and sustainability issue. When we focus on the greener future, we can observe that this, for example, using deodorant creates an effect. It's a small effect, but effect for the climate. And also these tiny particles that we call precipitates creates an effect. And maybe the future of the environment and climate depends on these tiny particles that we have controlled by recycling. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for your presentation. We will wait the decision of the judges. Now I would like to invite our next presenter, Demirel, from the Department of Urban and Regional Planning. He will be presenting urban resilience assessment model for the future public spaces, measuring climate resilience performance through the example squares. So, imagine standing in a public square on a hot summer day. There is almost no shade, the pavement feels very hot. You are waiting for a friend, but after a few minutes you just want to leave. Then suddenly, heavy rain starts. The water collects on the ground, walking becomes very difficult. So a space that should support public life becomes a place people want to live. This is not only about comfort, it is about climate resilience. By climate resilience, I mean the ability of public space to remain usable, comfortable, and safe in difficult weather conditions. It is important because public squares are at the center of the urban life. People meet there, wait there, celebrate there, protest there, and move through the city life. But there is a paradox. They are designed to bring people together, but when the climate stress increases, they can quickly push people away. So my research asks a simple question. Are Istanbul's public squares ready for the climate stress? To answer this, I developed a field-based model to evaluate the resilience in future public spaces. And the model has 4 steps. First, I defined 24 spatial criteria, such as shade, surface material, green areas, and water management. Second, I work with experts to weigh these criteria because some factors matter more than others. Third, I feel I created a field assessment model in simple terms, I made them easy to observe, score, and check on the sides. And finally, I combined the expert rates and field observations into a climate resilience score. But the result is not only a number. The model identified the climate-related vulnerabilities, and it shows which problems need action first. And lastly, it supports better design decisions for the climate-ready public spaces. And in my thesis also, I applied this model in Taksim, Sultanahmet, and Beşiktaş, when these squares have different characters, but they face the same question. Can they continue to support public life under the climate stress? It is important because climate adaptation cannot stay only in the policies, reports, or large-scale plans. It must be tested in everyday places where people experience the city directly. So my research makes resilience visible, measurable, and ready for the action. Thank you for listening. Thank you very much for your presentation. We will present this decision. Now I would like to invite our next presenter, Yağmur Suleyman, part of the Energy Science and Technology. She will be presenting enhancing the efficiency and stability of perovskite solar cells through nitrogen carbon dots and urea doping in 2D, 3D, and 2 and 3D hybrid architectures.
Did you know that in just 1 hour, the sun gives the energy to Earth more than the humanity needs for a year? Our problem is not the lack of power, it is about using inefficient and expensive tools. So the solution is very simple though. The perovskite solar cells. They are flexible, they are low cost, they are lightweight, and much more efficient than the traditional solar energy technologies. So you can ask me, if they are so promising, why aren't they everywhere still? Because they are unstable. The humidity, the light, even tiny little crystal defect can decrease the performance of the solar cells. So this is the topic of my research. You can think it in a crack in the road. Once there is a damage in the road, the traffic is slowed down, right? Similarly, in the solar panel, if there's a defect, then the energy cannot move efficiently. So I am using carbon-based materials called carbon dots for healing this defect inside of the perovskites. These carbon dots are very small molecules, even 1,000 times smaller than a human hair bit. But despite their sizes, the effects can be huge. Unfortunately, this is not the only challenge here. The structure of the perovskite also matters. In 3D perovskites, you can think it like highways. In the highways, the traffic is very fast, but sometimes it can be dangerous, right? And compared to the energy side, in the 3D perovskites, the efficiency is very high, but sometimes it can be fragile. On the other hand, in 2D perovskites, more like safe local roads. The energy is stable, but efficiency is not. So in my research, I'm combining these two structures for benefiting their two different opportunities at the same time, stability and efficiency, and using carbon dots for healing these defects inside of the perovskite solar cells. So in the end, the future of clean energy is not about generating the electricity, it is also about creating new technologies that people can truly depend on. Thank you very much.
much for your presentation. We will wait to this decision now. Now I would like to invite our next presenter, Yasemin Akta, from the Department of the Environmental Science and Engineering and Management. She will be presenting microalgae incubation in human urine for metering and valuable product recovery. Stage is yours.
Every day, we are flushing away large amounts of wastewater that we consider waste. Wastewater is often seen as an environmental burden, but it's not just waste. It's a mixture of valuable streams. And one of the most important of these streams is urine. Urine represents only 1% of total wastewater volume. But despite this tiny fraction, it is a highly concentrated stream, carrying most of the nitrogen and phosphorus in wastewater. When released uncontrolled into receiving water bodies, nitrogen and phosphorus can cause serious environmental problems. The most visible example of this is the mucilage problem we saw in Marmaris a few years ago. It was a total nightmare for Istanbul. But nitrogen and phosphorus are also key nutrients that are essential for life, for food production, for ecosystem function. And urine is reaching these nutrients. So, this led us to a simple question. How can we turn urine into value? And the answer is microalgae. Microalgae can do the job for us. They are green photosynthetic microorganisms. They perform photosynthesis using light and carbon dioxide. They consume nitrogen and phosphorus in urine, so they grow, multiply, and form biomass. And that biomass is a valuable resource, containing pigments, lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates. And that can be converted into biofuels, biofertilizers, and other environmentally friendly products. So, by using urine to grow microalgae, we can generate biomass and we can create economic value from a waste stream. So this is how urine becomes a key component of a circular bioeconomy. And this is how we can turn urine into value. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. We will move to this decision. Now I would like to invite our next presenter, Suleyman from the Department of the Chemistry. She will be presenting assessment of oxidation stress makers and antioxidant defense mechanism in biological samples from the children living in earthquake-affected areas.
but some effects are not visible. What if trauma leaves marks in a child's body that we cannot say? My PhD research focused on the effects of February 6th earthquake on children living in affected regions. After a disaster, children may also face many other difficult conditions: poor nutrition, dust, collisions, infections, stress, and unhealthy living, limited access to healthcare. These conditions may affect the body silently. A child may look healthy from the outside, while some biological balance may change inside the body. In our research, we focus on oxidative stress and antioxidant defense mechanisms. Oxidative stress means that the body produces more harmful molecules than it can safely control. These harmful molecules are called reactive oxygen species, or ROS. Normally, antioxidant defense systems protect our cells against ROS. But long-term stress and unhealthy living conditions may disturb this balance. We also look at the element imbalance. After disasters, the body may lose some useful elements and accumulate harmful heavy metals. These shifts may make children more sensitive to cellular damage. In this study, we analyzed blood and urine samples from healthy volunteer children living in Kahramanmaraş, Hatay, Malatya, Gaziantep, and Adıyaman. We compare these results with samples from healthy volunteer children living in Istanbul. Our aim is to understand hidden biological effects of disaster-related conditions and support children's recovery. This is important because children are one of the most vulnerable groups after natural disaster. If we can detect this early, we may help monitor health risks, guide public health action, and support recovery more effectively. It is about listening to what the body tells us after a disaster. Because sometimes the deepest effects of trauma are not visible to the eye. They may still be right in the body. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Now we will wait into this session. I would like to invite our next presenter, Gamze Neşet Özcan from the Department of the Chemical Engineering. She will be presenting us exploring cyclophilic microorganisms for advanced chemical process in industry and biotechnology.
Hello everyone, my name is Gamze Neşet Özcan. When people think about Antarctica, they think about ice, glaciers, cold weather, penguins. But for me, it is a little bit different. Under the glaciers, there are microorganisms living in the extreme conditions, like low temperature, low nutrients, and high UV radiation. In my thesis, I isolated 8 bacteria from 7 different ice cores from different Antarctic islands. And this microorganism produced the extraordinary biomolecules, which are the cold active enzymes, pigments, and nanoparticles. My first chapter is about the cold active enzymes. These bacteria produce the cold active esterase enzymes at the detergent industry. because these enzymes break down the oils and fats at just low temperature. We are actually, low temperatures means low energy consumption for us. Also, we can use these cold-active enzymes at the industrial, pharma industry. Chemotherapy drug production, small temperature change damage the sensitive molecules. But when we use these cold-active enzymes, we can preventing this damage. Also, my second part is the pigment, about the pigments. My two bacteria produce the keratin pigments to survive the extreme conditions, product radiation, and oxidative stress. Pigment is not just colors, it is about the oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is related to the DNA damage, aging, and cancer. And we can use these pigments to preventing the cancer molecules. Also, my last part is about the nanoparticles. My old bacteria produce the silver nanoparticles at low temperature. Low temperature means green energy, etc. And with the highest antibacterial activities. Maybe you can hear that nowadays silver nanoparticles used at the cancer treatment because they directly goes to into the cancer cells and destroy them. So my own bacteria produce the same time cold-active enzyme pigments and nanoparticles same time, like multi-purpose factory. Thank you so much.
Wait for just a second. Now, I would like to invite our next presenter, Rahan Öztürk, from the Department of the Atmospheric Sciences. He will be presenting us understanding regional atmospheric circulations over the Black Sea. Is here. No. I will be inviting the next presenter, Feyruz Aksoy, from Industrial Engineering. Yes, Feyruz also is not here. I would like to invite Sevgi Erzel, I guess she's here, from the Energy Science and Technology Department. She will be presenting multi-factor analysis and degradation modeling for long-term performance prediction of lithium-ion batteries.
When does a battery start to fail? Do you have any idea? Especially maybe is it when you run is it when your car runs fast and the faster than it used to, or is it when you're an electric car can no longer travel the specific or the same distance? Actually, I can say a battery starts to fail much earlier than this situation. I can say dominantly lithium-ion battery power out laptops, telephones, and electric vehicles, and especially even the system that store solar and wind energy. On the other hand, what with the every charge, every discharge, every temperature change, these situations, especially their performance, slowly change. And this aging is not caused by only one factor. There are a wide range of factors, such as heat, current, maybe depth of the discharge, and etc. I can say all of them are so crucial in order to understand the degradation mechanism in lithium-ion batteries. A second, please. I can say my doctoral research asks a simple question. Can we predict the high performance of lithium-ion batteries? Before degradation becomes critical? And my doctor, I am trying to develop a multi-factor prediction and framework. Actually, this framework and focus on especially degradation mechanism in lithium-ion batteries, stress factor, and charge-discharge situation. I'm so sorry.
Thank you very much for your presentation. We will wait the jury's decision. I would like to invite our next presenter, Ayşe Polat, from the Department of the Transport Engineering. She will be presenting modeling transportation for a potential post-earthquake scenarios using the four-step transportation model. Floor is yours.
On 2020, at 8:55 p.m., annual heat hits Elazığ. People rush out of their homes. Some try to reach their relatives. Some want to go. Some attempt to leave the city. So, özür dilerim ya, devam edeceğim.
Now I would like to invite our next presenter, Suzan Özdemir, from the Department of Textile Engineering. She will be presenting design, fabrication, and evaluation of the doll during drug pivoting biodegradable electrospin small caliber vascular grafts.
Think of an artificial blood vessel. No wider than 3 millimeters, saving a human life. For patients suffering from cardiovascular diseases, this tiny structure is the difference between life and death. So when our own blood vessels fail, surgeons replace them with synthetic grafts. But these grafts don't behave like real blood vessels. They are permanent and incompatible with body. Then blood clots form, cells overgrow, and eventually the graft fails. So I asked a simple question. What if we could design a graft that doesn't just replace an artery, but actually teaches the body how to regenerate it? So in my PhD, we developed a novel biodegradable vascular graft by using electrospinning technique and create microscale fibers just like natural tissue. It's a two-layer design. The outer layer provides strength against blood pressure with radially oriented fibers, whereas the inner layer supports new cells with randomly distributed fibers. But the real secret isn't just the structure. Most of the existing grafts try to address just one of these challenges by using a single drug. But in my design, I integrate a dual drug delivery system for two different problems. Because healing is not a single event. Healing is a sequence. In the first few days, the graft releases its first drug to keep the blood flowing. And weeks later, second drug is released to prevent excessive cell growth. Two drugs, two roles, two different time scales. And the preliminary results are promising. In animal models, our grafts remained open in pigs up to 90 days, which is really rare in literature. But for us, this is just the beginning. Now we aim to go beyond this. As the body heals, the graft gradually disappears, leaving only healthy living tissue, which means fewer repeat surgeries and better lives for millions of patients. Because the best artificial implant isn't the one that lasts forever. It's the one that your body no longer needs. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Now we will wait jury's decision. I would like to invite our next presenter, Özlem Yüksel, from the Department of Textile Engineering. She will be presenting us integration of plastic compounds into advanced foods dressing materials for enhancing healing, design development, and performance analysis.
Hello everyone. Did you know that every year 1.3 billions of foods is thrown away? Instead of being used, it goes into landfills and releases carbon emissions. But we asked ourselves, what if these waste could heal human skin? Skin is the first layer of defense. Imagine you have a wound in your body. How can you get rid of it? For serious wounds like diabetes, ulcers, burns, the traditional bandages aren't enough. It can't help tissue regrow immediately. Our research, we focus on the waste to wealth framework. A great example is lycopene. Powerful antioxidants obtained from tomato residues. We have transformed it in high-value medical materials by fixing with lycopene and with special polymers like TPU, PLLA, PDA, we create the high-performance composite. The result is trailing. It heals immediately and protects. We use two different approaches. First of all, we use electrospinning techniques. Electrospinning produces tiny fibers. These fibers create porous granular environment. Secondly, 3D wire printing. It takes further. Instead of traditional bandage, we create personalized dressing. It is each patient's perfect. And the results are exciting. The cells like these fibers and grow quickly. And antioxidant polymers decrease the oxidative stress on the wound.
Time is up. Presentation. We will wait the jury's decision now. I guess we have finished. I would like to invite our next presenter, Demirel, from the Department of Structural Engineering. He will be presenting us regional scale damage assessment using physical-based three-dimensional earthquake simulations. Stage is yours.
Hello everyone, my name is Demirel. Let's get started. Today I will talk about my PhD study. First of all, imagine this an earthquake strikes in this year tomorrow. People are inside their homes, the students are in the schools, the workers are in the workplaces, and there are some questions in this year. What is the damage in this region, and what will be the injury in the region? My aim is to answer these questions. Firstly, how to make these decisions for the region. And then, first of all, I developed a regional risk methodology for the Bornova. We focus on the Bornova in Izmir. It's a district of the Izmir. And then, the earthquake cannot be granted, but we can reduce the consequences of the earthquakes. And then my studies is very simple. The first three stages. The first stage is the simulations of the earthquakes, and the second stage is the simulation of the buildings, and the third one is the final output. The first part is as you can see in the slides, the earthquake simulations. In this year we use the supercomputer in this year because my computer is not good for the earthquake simulation. It's very complex to do the real earthquakes. And then we, in the second stage, we will do the building. We will use the building inventory for the building simulations. In this year, we collect data from the Bornova municipality, and we will use the informations of the buildings. In this year, for example, number of floors and floor area are etc. And another important thing is in the Turkish building stocks and the soft-story irregularities. It's a very dangerous things of the buildings. What is the soft-story? The soft-story is we see it many buildings If ground floor is no improvements, that means the soft story, and it's very important for our study. The final output, it's not only the result of our study. Our aim is to protect lives before the earthquakes. Thank you.
So I would like to invite our next presenter, Suleyman, from the Department of Urban and Regional Planning. She will be presenting reclaiming urban rooftops and comparative study on rooftops farming practices. Stage is yours.
Is rooftop farming really that simple? At first glance, it might seem like a straightforward transformation from gray to green, but it's not. Let me explain. Today, 57% of the world's population lives in cities, and cities produce more than 70% of the global greenhouse gas emissions. And what about our food system? It accounts for 34% of the global emissions. Moreover, urban food security is becoming one of the biggest challenges of our time. Urban agriculture has been seen as one of the solutions to cities' insufficient and expensive access to food, bringing food production to cities. It can take many different forms, and rooftop farming is one of them. It means producing food and conducting farming practices on rooftops of the buildings. It can shorten a supply chain, reduce environmental impact, create biodiversity, create job opportunities, and strengthen urban resilience. So, rooftop farming is not a single-layer solution. It operates across social, ecological, and economic dimensions. However, existing studies mostly focus on the economic and ecological dimensions of rooftop farming. The social aspects often remain in the background. That's why research focuses on the social dimensions of rooftop farming to different cultural and geographical contexts. But let me ask you something first. How many of you know that the first large-scale rooftop garden example in Turkey already exists in Istanbul? Despite being located in one of the busiest parts of the city in Levent district, its public awareness surprisingly remains low, even among planners and architects. Meanwhile, in Copenhagen, Osteco rooftop farm attracts high number of volunteers, as seen in the preliminary observations. So, why the same idea create different outcomes in different cities? My thesis asks, what are the effects of rooftop farming located in different geographies? My research explores the impact of cultural and regional differences on rooftop farming through two case studies. One is Akmerkez shopping mall rooftop garden located in Istanbul, and the other one, Osteco rooftop farm located in Copenhagen, Denmark. The study adopts a multi-scale holistic approach, combines on-site research methods, including field observation, survey with the volunteers, in-depth interviews with the experts, together with policy and special analysis at the city level. The outputs of my study will be a series of suggestions for a successful rooftop farm application. The main goal is to understand how network governance affect the sustainability of rooftop farm. Turning roofs green is the easy part, but what about sustaining them?
Thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you, so let's invite our next presenter, Talha Alkır from the Control and Automation Engineering Department. He will be presenting us data-driven model, predictive control for flight control. Stage is yours. Talha, not here, okay. Our next presenter, Sinan Mustafaoğlu, from the Department of Energy Science and Technology. He will be presenting us Operation Energy Justice in Decentralized Grids. Stage is yours.
I would like to start with a question. Did you know that my electricity consumption at my own house has an effect on your electricity? So our energy system, as in its definition of system, is highly interdependent. So it's a supply and demand curve. So more is the demand, more is the price. So every day, every hour, the electricity changes. So, our topic is energy justice in decentralized energy networks. So, the difference from the main grid from our electricity system is energy is produced locally and can be traded among people, among consumers, producers, prosumers. So, if you look at this visual represents a decentralized energy system. So that colorful liquid is electricity, and the big ball and the black is our main energy grid. So as you see, and the small ones are households, different types of households. So for example, the first one is a low-income household with a poor insulation and a lot of an energy waste exists. And the second one is probably many of us regular household. The third one is an excessive consumption. For example, with a big house, big square meters, high energy consuming devices. And the fourth one is a very energy efficient living style. So I'd like to pause for a second, and I'd like to ask what's justice mean in this context? So when we look at the traditional definitions from ancient languages, justice means balancing, stabilizing, maintaining and supporting. So without justice, there's no balance. So if there's no balance, the pressure rises in between the walls. So for a system, so in our study, what we try to do is create an energy management framework for decentralized energy grids that consider different dimensions such as privacy, affordability, vulnerability, and many others. And hopefully, if we can create a framework, we can have a more sustainable, stable, harmonious future together. Thank you.
Now I would like to invite our next presenter, Çağatay İleten, from the Physics Engineering Department. He will be presenting computational and experimental characterization of low-dimensional nanostructured doped liquid crystal systems. Stage is yours.
Hi, let's think this state is an elevator and now I'm pushing the button quantum flow. So how I know that? Because the letter on the button is Q. The most sensitive sense without any extra molecule and atom is just touching. I try to make maybe a rabbit arm or a prosthetic arm more feelingful while their surgery or holding any kind of material. But how can do this? I try to add some different dimensional carbon-based monodimensional structures like one-dimensional or zero-dimensional, etc. But it's not a Taranis soup, so we don't have any fixed recipe. So I try to model it computationally, and also I try to make some electrical measurements in our laboratory, which leads us the differences of electrical conductors. Conduction is changing by these doping structures, so we can turn a touch into an electrical signal. By this way, we don't have only go to a new kind of prosthetic arm or robotic hands, but also we will try to make an interfaces which have the future quantum system needs in our near future.
Thank you very much for the presentation. We will wait in the next session. Zeynep belki aday Kızıltaş'ı, I guess, you know. I'm waiting. Now I would like to invite last presenter Ayşe Gülkoğlu from the music department. She will be presenting sound, space, narrative, spatial sound design in the contemporary installations art. Stage is yours.
Sounds are born to die. They are fleeting. Without anyone to capture them, they vanish. In my work, I'm trying to capture this fleeting phenomenon, sound, and experience of hearing them, especially in the installation art, in the contemporary world of art. Installation art is an art form that merges many other art forms, and it's an art form that gained momentum in the 20th century, in the second half of the 20th century, especially. And for this installation arts, and the documentation of installation art is done with classical methods. Some pictures taken from the exhibition site, some recorded excerpts from different angles, and I thought today we can merge this installation art documentation with new techniques, with 3D techniques that are designed for each individual installation, and after understanding their narrative. In the first picture, you see an installation, but it's really hard to imagine what it sounds like by looking at the picture. We need 3D audio recording techniques and performative recordings to understand them fully. And we understand the relationship in the space and sound and the exhibition whole experience. Thank you.
Presentation. I guess we have completed all our presentations. So the time is for the attendees. follow people's choice work. You should scan the QR code and you should easily give your work to anyone who presented their work. Around 5 minutes, but I guess this is more than enough, right? Oh, okay, 2. The people choice awards should be only voted by the people in this room. So please do not set the clerk or anyone else. we will wait a little bit more. I will be giving more details about it just a second. So, based on jury's judge, we have a winner and second place. Based on the people's of award, we have two winners, so the award will be split to two. So I would like to announce the jury's winner is Suzan Özdemir. the second place goes to Zeynep Tutku. Based on the People Choice Awards goes to two people. First of all, I guess Gamze Neşe. And the second People Choice Award winner is Muhammed Rashid Karakoca. Now, I would like to invite the director of the Istanbul Technical University Graduate School, Professor Dr. Semih Güner, to give the applause. So I would like to invite Professor Dr. Semih Güner, the director of the institute, for closing remarks. So I would like to invite the jury to the stage for thanks.
Anne olarak